Hey everyone, I'll be right back for a second, hold on. Yeah, sorry about that folks, had to go get my Coke here. And first of all, if anybody watched the last video or two, I want to apologize for that little close-up at the end. I thought my mom was coming back. I thought my mom had just gotten back from work. I saw a red car, a red vehicle pulling around, so I thought basically that was her, so I had to grab the camera and just drag it around like that, so I apologize for that. Anyway, thought I'd kind of come here and talk about something that, I've talked about, tropes and all that, what are TV tropes and, and everything. But I thought I'd come here and talk about one trope that's seen in animation a lot, sometimes in live action. Of course, we've seen it in live action. But mostly at times in animation or anime. And that is the inanimate trope. Now, what is the inanimate trope, you might ask? The inanimate trope basically depicts a character getting turned into an inanimate object. Whether it's a statue, possibly a console like this, or whatever. And this has been seen throughout all of animation, throughout the beginning of animation sometimes. But mostly at times when during the advent of television animation. And I apologize for the people's noise out there. Again, wait for that a sec. Again, I want to apologize for that there. But anyway, like I said, since the advent of television animation, we've seen a lot of these things happen. Mostly shows sometimes that deal with science or magic. It has happened. Sometimes the science will cause somebody getting accidentally doused with something to get turned into an inanimate object, whether it's a statue or could be anything that they touch. Like if they fall back into something, the contents will say, hey, if you fall back into something, boom, that's the first thing you get turned into, and it'll only wear out once we get the antidote and put it on top of you. And sometimes the person will mainly get turned into a statue. A live-action sci-fi series called Warehouse 13 is a good example of this. One of the main female characters got turned into, I think, a bronze statue for a majority of the episode. But you see, most times, that's the thing about inanimate transformations. The inanimate TV trope, or the inanimate transformations, always just temporary changes, temporary fixes. Sometimes a character is just meant to be that way for the duration of the episode. In Disney's Aladdin, Jasmine and the Sultan got turned into two pieces of jewelry and tucked away into a sorceress vest or whatever it was. Now, of course, it's not the first time they got turned into inanimate objects. Jasmine was temporarily turned into stone by Mosenrath, and the Sultan was turned into a golden little statue. So it's not the first time, nor would it be, nor in any kind of animation would it be the last. When I was watching Doug Walker's new segment Was That Real?, which he does for Nostalgia Critic, one of the first things he talked about was Ewoks. And there were several scenes in Ewoks that he had taken from the episode The Totem Master. Now, Ewoks was basically a show back in the 80s to where the episodes only consisted of 2 11-minute shorts, as far as I know. And The Totem Master basically had two of Wiki's friends, not the princess friend, but two of the friends, Latada and, hold on, sorry about that. But like I said, and that was my laundry going off, I'll get that in a second. We're basically involved we're basically two of Wiki's friends, Latada, or Latrada, whatever her name was, basically sort of the diva of the group, if you will. And Meebo, or whatever his name is, the magician, or the wannabe magician of the group, basically getting turned into totem statues that were mind controlled. Basically were turned into totem statues / demons, whatever they were called, but basically brainwashed, mind controlled. So, in a sense, they were turned into inanimate objects because they became parts of a totem pole. That's basically what it was. So, but again, it was only temporary. It was only for that 11-minute short. And that's basically what it is sometimes. These things happen. The inanimate transformations are always just temporary deals. Now sometimes, some anime and animation series throughout the past 20, 40 years have had episodes that have had characters get turned into inanimate objects for a duration of a story arc until the end of that story arc. And once the end of that story arc happened, they were returned to normal. Sometimes when they get returned to normal, and this was another thing about the inanimate transformations, depending on how they were presented, the character wouldn't even remember. The character would be like, well, I was just saying this for a second, and then next thing I know, everything blanked out, and now I'm here, what's going on? Sometimes that would all be a depiction. Sometimes that's all how it would be depicted for that character. Other times, the character, when they would get turned into the inanimate objects, either for the episode or the story arc, would remember what was going on and said, even though I couldn't do anything, I saw everything even though I was in this shape. I saw what was going on. You know, it's like I saw what was going on even though I didn't know what was going on. So, it was, to say the inanimate transformation trope is one of the more unique aspects in animation, and sometimes live action, is saying a lot. You know, it's not as prominent sometimes as, let's say, the melting trope, or the lustful melt trope, or the melting trope. Sometimes it's not as prominent as shape-shifting, because the character can shape-shift into, with shape-shifting powers can become anyone or anything. It's not that prominent. But it is prominent enough to when it's necessary, sometimes you'll get a kick out of it. You know, you'll get a kick out of it, you'll enjoy it, you'll have fun with it. And that's basically all it is to what an inanimate, what the inanimate trope, TV trope is, what the inanimate transformation trope is in television, especially when it comes to animation. That's basically what it is. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you got any questions, let me know down below what you think. What you thought of it, and do you know of any animated series that I may missed out on, may have not mentioned, that have had an inanimate transformation in them, which only lasted temporarily for that episode, or maybe for a duration of a story arc? Do you know of any anime or animation series that I may have missed? Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like, and I am out.